This story begins in 1979 when a revolution in Iran took place. Taking advantage of the situation, Iraq invaded its neighboring nation, and thousands of people were massacred in just a few weeks. We are in Tehran in 1980, and a family has come with a smuggler who can help their son cross the border. Ali, our protagonist, only has a few seconds to say goodbye to his parents before boarding the truck that will take him to his destination. His mother gives him a key that holds his past. He must never forget where he comes from, no matter where he ends up. As soon as he gets on the truck, the driver gives him a simple instruction. When he hears a knock, he must hang on to the pipe and stay there until the knock is repeated. If he fails to do so, they will discover him and kill both of them. Surely the truck departs and his parents embrace, knowing that they have sent their last son into an uncertain future. Several hours later, Ali can see that they have arrived at a city struck by war. At that moment, he hears the knock, climbs onto the pipe as the driver indicated, and holds on with all his might. But the check seems to last longer than expected. From his hiding spot, Ali can hear how they are loading their weapons. However, the problem is with a couple who are ahead, so he must hold on much longer. Ali drops the key, and that catches the attention of a guard who enters the truck. Fortunately, the guard does not manage to catch him. In the next scene, we see Ali in California, attending his first day of classes at the new school. Although Ali is just a boy who wishes for a normal life, the news about the conflict is everywhere. Moreover, American lives have been lost in the process, and that does not make him the most popular. Even the teachers are not open to guiding him. And when the other kids hear that he comes from Iran, they completely earn their contempt for him. At lunch, we meet Mike, the undisputed leader of the school, and of course, he is a bully who barely looks at what Ali is eating. "Come on, Ali, you couldn't even bring just a hamburger like everyone else?" Christy, the only one with some empathy, tells him to leave him alone. It is clear that Ali tries to adapt, but the mockery does not help. In the city, the anti-Iranian vibe is strong. That same morning, his uncle discovers that his workshop has been vandalized. The hatred towards Iranians intensifies, and everyone believes that they are terrorists. Ali has realized that the school is run by the athletes. So to survive, he must pretend to be one of them, or perhaps at least join a team. But when he applies for the football team and sees the other team members, he realizes that they would crush him on the first attempt. Ali does not give up. He takes trials for basketball and other sports, not allowing anyone to mock him. Even when Mike appears to beat him up, he tries to return the blow and endures until Principal Skinner manages to stop the fight. The first question that Skinner asks him is if he thinks he's special. He is not. Everyone in this country came from somewhere else. Skinner is a firm believer that everyone can achieve whatever they set out to do by focusing on the goal and not on bothering those who are competing for other things. This will be the only time that they remove Mike from his pedestal. It is best that he finds a way to coexist or to go unnoticed. As he leaves the school, he sees Christy's mother putting her car up for sale. The family has money problems, and now she will lose her means of transportation. Ali hears that the money is for a French tutor, and since he knows the language and gathers his courage, he enters the restaurant and offers to be her tutor completely for free. Everyone around is watching as if they expected her to kick him out, but on the contrary, she accepts. As soon as he returns home, his uncle abuses him. He believes that the vandalism to his workshop is his fault because he had been unnoticed for years. After almost coming to blows with his uncle, Ali runs away and soon arrives at the school gym where the wrestling competition is taking place. Everyone is there, including Mike and Christy, to see how their school tries to beat Knox, the state champion. But he is a ruthless boy who ends up fracturing Toth's arm, the competitor from his school, and wins. Seeing this, Mike throws his beer at him, and since he does not have the strength to fight, Ali snatches his jacket and wipes his face with it, then flees and loses them. Coach Dan is having a hard time. Toth was his best fighter, and with his injury, the season is over for the wrestling team unless they find new, skilled members. The next morning, Ali appears in the gym, eager to join the team, but Dan rejects him. The least he needs is the boy that everyone hates in his class. However, Ali broke the rules, and Dan is forced to give him a chance whether he likes it or not. To prove his worth, he chooses the biggest opponent for him to wrestle. Ali is not only fast but also slippery, and he manages to demonstrate some talent. But in the end, he loses, even though he leaves the best in the class exhausted and earns his place on the team. All thanks to him holding on as tightly as he did that day on the truck at the border. When he returns home, his uncle is ready to kick him out. He already had the papers signed to revoke his visa. But upon seeing that he joined the wrestling team, his uncle is reminded of his old days. Tired of always accepting what everyone around him does, he promises to stop fighting him and offers him a truce so that they can survive together in this era of hatred they are facing. The next day, when Ali returns from class, his uncle takes everything from the garage and turns it into a gym. He plans to teach him everything he knows. From the photos, Ali finds out that his uncle is an Iranian champion, an expert in a wrestling technique very similar to the American one. Only his is much better. Dan's rules and techniques do not interest him, a loser who hasn't won a title in 7 years. And the first thing Ali will learn are the heavy wooden mills, training logs, that he must turn 100 times every day. Just turning the smallest one nearly brings him down. He has no idea how he will manage with the others, but he must do it if he wants to improve. That night, Ali goes to the restaurant to help Christy with her French, but his mother forces them to study. She does not want to lose clients, but she appreciates his help. During the first event, Marf, the young competitor in the 57-kilogram division, does not stop vomiting, and although Dan does not want to, he has to put Ali in the competition. The event begins and everyone mocks Ali. The hatred is stronger than ever, but Ali follows his uncle's instructions and wins the match. Even though that does not please many, including the entire audience in Skinner, who does not want a riot to break out because the Iranian beat an American. In the following days, Ali is on a winning streak. The 57-kilogram division remains undefeated, and his relationship with his uncle and with Christy improves tremendously, as does his French, since he starts acing his tests and no longer has to lose his car. Knox finds out that there is a new boy who has won 8 consecutive matches, so he prepares to face him. But since he is overweight now, it is time for him to start vomiting. The team finally accepts Ali and gives him a jacket with his wrestler name Wizard, because he is the Wizard of Victories. That night, the boys go out and do crazy things, like swimming in the mayor's pool, and Ali finally has his chance with Christy. When everything seemed to be going great, it is revealed that more than 321 Americans have died from executions in the war between Iraq and Iran. So the public demands that all Iranians in the country be deported immediately. Iranian businesses are being burned and they are being attacked. It is no surprise then that during the next wrestling competition, a mob is ready to burn the gym. If Ali wins again, to worsen their mood, Ali hears Christy deny having kissed him and tell her friend that she is only looking for him to learn French. Skinner wants to cancel the competition, but Dan does not plan to let Ali be humiliated that way. So he tells him that he has a plan. Just before the match begins, he tells Ali to win. He does not want him to be humble. He wants him to forget about the audience and just win. What happens next is impressive. Ali not only defeats his rival with a single move, but he makes it clear that his opponent had no chance, and he sets the best county time. Tajaf is proud of his nephew and now attends the competitions without caring what people say. There, he meets Jane, Toth's mother, and it seems that something might develop between them. Knox appears in the locker room to tell Ali to enjoy his momentary glory. He is about to reach the 57-kilogram limit and will come for him. Knox is the personification of all the racism, hatred, and contempt of Americans towards foreigners, and now he has set his eyes on Ali. Along with his uncle, they analyze Knox's matches, and his uncle teaches him what is necessary to face him. But Ali's mind is a different challenge. Knox is ruthless and has gotten into his head. If he does not manage to shake him off and keep his focus, no matter what happens in the ring, he will have already lost before the match even begins. To start gaining control of his mind, he must overcome everything and everyone he fears, starting with Mike, who was the first to mock him when he prepared to challenge him. Christy seemed happy for having earned an A in French, but Ali has no time for her since he hears what she said to her friend, motivated by anger in the moment. Ali goes straight to Mike and starts a fight, which he wins, but Skinner kicks him off the wrestling team. His uncle tells him that now he is a fighter, a brave person, and that no one, especially not an old man in a suit who despised him from the first day, can take that away from him. He knows that Skinner always wanted him to keep a low profile and not stir up trouble like everyone else, but he is there to prove the opposite. The wrestling team is not everything he has become. It is what he has turned into. It is important, and Dan has realized that. He asked Jazz to be his assistant coach, as he has noticed that the team is soft and needs someone like him to teach them what it takes to be winners. Just like Ali, who laughs when he realizes that his teammates have no idea of what awaits them, especially with the Mills the next day. Later, Christy gets fed up with trying to apologize, so she takes the fast way out and goes straight to Ali in front of everyone, so that he stops thinking that she is ashamed to be with him. Later, Ali goes to talk to Skinner and shows him the key, explaining its significance. In his country, they are known as keys to heaven. They are given to children who are too weak to engage in combat. That is his last memory of his mother, the message that he was never meant to fight for what he deserved. In everyone's eyes, he was always a useless person, but he remembers his first day when he was told that in this country, anyone could achieve whatever they wanted. Now he has the chance to do so, and he is taking it away from them. Because of that, Skinner revokes his decision and allows him to participate in the regionals, where he will face Knox for the title. But before that, they must pass the sectionals where the team must demonstrate what they learned from Hafez before Ali's match. Knox reveals himself from the audience and warns him not to lose. He is not done with him yet. Despite having everything to win, Ali finds the odds difficult, and Jaff knows that Knox's presence affects him, so they have to work on his mindset. After the victory, the team goes for pizza, and Jaff has a date with Jane. But fate has uncertain ways of testing us, and this is one of them. Ali went from being on top, celebrating a great victory, to attending his uncle's funeral, who died after being run over by a truck. Because Ali has lost his sponsor, he has become an illegal immigrant and must go to a detention center on Friday, just on the day of the state championships. The situation is complicated. If Ali wins, he will receive a full scholarship, and that comes with a visa and a place to live. But they cannot ignore the law, and events are happening simultaneously. While Ali goes over his uncle's things, he discovers many newspaper clippings that show how proud his uncle was of him, even though he rarely showed it. Christy wants him to run away so he can live as an illegal. But for Ali, the state championships mean everything. So on the day of the event, Skinner gets him a time extension, and Ali meets Pat, who has the papers for his scholarship. But he must win, or the scholarship will go to Knox. The venue is immense. It is full of the best wrestlers in the state, and everything is broadcast on television. Knox is a beast. He wins with brutality in every match, and the audience adores him. After a long day, we arrive at the final match where Ali will face Knox, who represents everything Ali has wanted to defeat since he left Iran. In the third round, Ali is losing 9-2, so he needs to do something extraordinary to win and prove not only to himself, but to everyone else that he is here to stay. With that, using his uncle's secret technique, Ali is crowned champion, securing the scholarship, his future, and of course, the girl.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.